It's week 2 of the National Football League, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Vikings and the Bengals, and it comes your way next.
How's that, bro?
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Again, everyone, I'm Brandon Gunn. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see 2 road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You've got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll throw on first down with Stidham. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And Danielle Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. They'll run for the first time with Chris Evans. And he'll be taken down at the 18. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
He'll flip this out to Evans. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Call it a pickup of 3, and also now likely a punt on their opening drive. On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Richardson. That's swung out wide to Harris. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A big play that time on the catch and run.
That turned into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football, overtime, when you do it consistently,
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Najee Harris, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, let's see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. The numbers for Evans a week ago. 18 carries, 75 yards. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
This is the tight end Fant, and they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents. And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch? And then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Richardson looking to throw on second down. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw again. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They brought in the heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a first down.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions in not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take him out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know, some big guy, we're going to change the football. So it's obvious that's the problem. It's not you. Keep firing.
Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Here we go. 53's the mic. 53. Check 53.
To throw is Stidham. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
We got 3. Check 27.
Out of the gun, Stidham. And a catch right side by Evans. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up fourth down. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. This one caught. It's the tight end Hawkinson. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So they go pass, now they go run, and 2 plays resulting in really nice pickups.
Certainly sounds like a 50-50 deal, doesn't it? Sounds like great balance. Well, you know what all those coaches have told us over the years, Brandon, that balance is? It means doing what you want to when you want to. That play calling's working very well for them right now.
And boy, showing how tough he can be to bring down, just fighting his way forward to pick up 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Flush to his right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They start the drive with Evans. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On the handoff, Evans, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
What you got? What you got?
Stidham. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. Not too shabby here. This will skip out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Many times when a play breaks down and the quarterback's moving around outside of the pocket, you're thinking just get rid of something short. But a lot of guys are coached, think deep, take the big shot, hoping someone can get lost behind the secondary. They weren't able to connect on that one.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5.
You ain't gonna burn me.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
Let's go.
A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only come.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Najee Harris with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Come on now, let's go.
Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Stidham to throw. He's got his big tight end, Fant. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
Richardson now. Following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. Trucks over him. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Here's Richardson to throw on 2nd down. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. Touchdown, Vikings!
Let's go!
T.J. Hockenson, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2. And they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. Taken at the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Now the Bengal offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And with 25 seconds to go, we'll see how they want to play this. And just 25 seconds to go in the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. Now it's Stidham. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Here's Stidham. He finds his man, complete. That's Armstrong. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Stidham. He finds his man, complete. It's Armstrong. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Stidham. And he'll go underneath here to Evans. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Oh, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. And all the way down to the 35.
Let's go.
A big play there for Minnesota.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but No more than that. Second down. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. Touchdown! T.J. Hockenson with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes the score 28-0. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Stidham from the shotgun. He finds his man, complete. It's Armstrong. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Now Stidham. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now after that last play, there's a Bengal down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. They'll start with the option. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 24. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD.
I think this is where you have to have the term situational football in your head because this game is pretty much in the palm of your hand, and the one thing you can't afford to do, turn the ball over. Now you've given the patient a little bit of a heartbeat, haven't you? And now they're feeling it, and they're back in this game.
Yeah, still a little bit of a lead, but that makes things more interesting. We're still just in the 3rd quarter here. So the extra point good, and the roughing call going to move the ball out to the 50 for the kickoff.
And I think this is a good chance to pin them deep if you can land the kickoff inside the 5-yard line or so. Gain some field position for your defense.
So here are the Vikings to take over. They fell last week at the hands of the Washington football team, but they've got the lead right now. Now Richardson throwing after the interception. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 29, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's now 28-14. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. From the 6. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing after the interception, Richardson eluding the pressure right. And boy, another ill-advised throw there, as that will wind up incomplete.
As soon as I saw him break contain and get outside, my first thought and my eyes gravitated downfield, because nowadays, most of these quarterbacks, when they do that, they want the big play downfield. They don't want to throw it short. In this case, he took the shot. It fell incomplete.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Back to throw. Richardson. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big connection on that one. 31 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
On the give, this is Harris. He'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now, because usually you have the defense back on its heels. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off. I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick 6 just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Najee Harris, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Stidham. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Now it's Stidham. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. So both offenses come to life here in this 3rd quarter, as this is shaping up for a good finish. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. And they can't bring him down. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. An opening there on that 1st down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Off the play fake. Richardson on the move to his left. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 87 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. On first down, it's Harris, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Let's go. Let's do
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
An option handoff given to Harris. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
And his kick is good. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
They'll try and run for this with Evans. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st and 10, it's Stidham. Stidham hit, and he lost it. And the Vikings pick up the football. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And he did not want to go down there as he carries tacklers for a solid gain of 9. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. this is not going to get there. Great work defensively to stop him short. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. Off the bootleg, Richardson, and he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, here's Stidham. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. Well, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly, and what a benefit for them, able to pick that one off and hopefully put this game away.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Jones. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Bengals drive about to get going. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now.
Stidham hit, and he lost it. And this belongs to the Vikings. And I don't know that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. McLaughlin for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game.
That's caught inside the 20. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A big offensive explosion.